Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to B Sports Picks. So yesterday, our streak came to an end. We took a very calculated risk with the Timberwolves. I did say that if Anthony Edwards ended up playing, that this would be a much stronger play, which he ended up playing. But the Grizzlies just came through at home, and they actually won straight up. So it was a calculated risk. I gave all the reasoning why it was a little bit of an even higher risk, but I did say I'm much higher risk tolerant, and it did ruin our streak. But we move on. I have one play for you guys in the NBA today. Again, it's going to be a two-leg parlay. It's going to be within two games. Again, two separate games. One of them I really don't like, to be honest. There's like a 7 out of 10, 70% confidence level. The other one is like a 9% confidence level. Yet I don't want to do a straight bet because there's some contradictions. This entire slate has a lot of contradictions. I'll talk about some of those. I'm not going to get into too much details as far as all the contradictions, but just know that I did my research. I'll show you my research paper that I get every morning so you can see that I actually look at what I'm talking about. So let's get back in the green, guys. So I'm going to talk about very quickly what happened yesterday, and then I'm going to start talking about the play immediately after that. So one of the first things I like to look at is the back-to-back. So I'm not going to get too much deeper into this, but just know that Utah does have a one-day rest advantage and Golden State has a one-day rest advantage. Second thing I like to look at after the back-to-backs is to go look at the SharpEdge tool. That inside there's something called the line move tool. And all this does really is just goes out and gets the lines from the books. And then it kind of looks at what the opening line was, what the current line is, and then it looks at what the line is shifting towards. So for example, I'm not going to get too much deeper into that, but for example, you can see the Magic started at a 10.5. They went to a 7+7. So that's a 4-point line move in the favor of the Magic. The Warriors started at a +3.5. They're currently at a -2.5. So again, you start looking at the back-to-back, and this is where you start stacking the information. So the Warriors are on a one-day rest advantage. They're at home, and then the line shifted from underdog to favorite. And you could take a screenshot here if you want. I'm not going to go through too much more detail about this, but there's a lot of stuff to look at here for the strong plays, for the nuclear picks and stuff like that. This, again, is only the line move tool. This is not the end-all, be-all information. After that, I start wanting to look at the dashboard right here for the SharpEdge. It tells you what time this information was scraped. Dating this to scrape pretty much every hour, starting at 6 a.m. But anyways, let me just kind of go through the projections here. These are not final plays. These are just projections. Pistons are supposed to win. Pacers are supposed to win. The Knicks are supposed to win. The Lakers are supposed to win. The Heat are supposed to win. The Celtics are supposed to win. The Bulls are supposed to win. The Thunder are supposed to win. And then the Warriors are supposed to win. And finally, the Suns are supposed to win. Now, very quickly, there is a lot of contradictions. So, for example, right away, you can see this is a 19-page report. This is the report that I get every single morning based on all the games. So like if there's less games, obviously I have less information. But if there's more games, then there's a lot of information here. So I literally went through all of this, and there is a lot of contradictions. So again, I'm not going to bore you with the details, but just know that I did my research, and a lot of stuff just does not make sense. A reverse line move in the wrong direction, over-unders don't match, ATS trends. There's a lot of stuff like that in here. I'm one of those. However, you start looking here, Lakers started at a -9.5. The line is currently at a -8. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not going to win the game straight up. Everybody thinks they're going to win this game, but you can start seeing the information here. So, for example, the Nets, when they lose, they cover the spread 60% of the time. That's probably why the reason this is moving in this direction. However, Lakers are actually healthy today, and Reeves might return. Again, there's a lot of information here. There's a lot of contradictions. Another example is that the Nets are only 7% in the last 14 games. That's actually to win or lose the game. So they've lost a lot of games, but they do cover the spread. So that's, again, if you're going to take the Lakers, take them on the money line. I'm not touching this game. There's too many contradictions. I like that they're healthy and all that, but I'm just not going to trust it, especially with the Nets being at home and them covering the spread. So again, that's just a lot of contradictions that I don't like to touch. Now, getting right into the play, this first one I'm going to look at is the Bulls and the Bucks. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that I like fading the Bulls on the under. So it's been hitting for us recently, and today's no different. I'm going to be looking on the under for the Bucks and the Bulls. I'll tell you the exact line that I'm going with, but let me give you a quick reasoning why I like this play. Even in this play, there's a little bit of a contradiction. So this is the projections. 115 and 112 is actually 227. You can see that was the opening line. it went down to 224. So the line did drop 3 points, even though 83% of the bets and 80% of the money is coming in on the over, the line is going down. So that's already a reverse line move. Now, if we look at the expert insights right here, the Bucks on the last 17 games have gone 12 times on the under. That's a 70% hit rate on the under. Now, again, there's a lot of contradictions here. You can see the points per game is 118 and 115. That's 223. So they allow a bunch of points, and then the points per game are actually right at that number. So again, there's a little bit of a contradiction there. What this means is that the defense is not great because they do allow a lot of points right here. So one thing I love about this play is that you got a bunch of injuries here. You got a bunch of questionable things. Like, for example, Giannis is out. So this is going to affect points overall. So I love this play on the under because of all the injuries that I'm showing you here. Specifically, I see here that his calf he's actually injured. So his calf, he's projected to be out about 6 weeks. So whenever he doesn't play, they're 3-11 without him this season. So their offense is actually 27th in the league. Let me just give you a few more pointers here. Basically, the offense is horrible with the Bucks. They're 27th in the league. They're even worse without Giannis. And then we go over to the other side with Chicago. Giddey is the primary ball handler, and he's out also on the Bulls side. So there's a lot of key rotation players missing on the Bulls. Also, like I showed you over here, the line is actually dropping 3 points. That's actually sharp money coming in. I think the line already even dropped lower to 223. So the line is actually still dropping. Now, there's also something called Kalshi bets, which just gives you very strong favorites. And in this case today, the Bulls are favored to go on the under. So I'm going to give you the exact play. I'm going to give you the exact line. I'm going to show you my bet slip. But just know that I'm going with the Bulls and the Milwaukee Bucks on the under. That's going to be the first leg of this. If you haven't done so, guys, make sure you go to the link in the description. Click on free picks. Also, check out the VIP packages. We actually had a 17-0 run in the last 2 days. And then if you look at our videos, we actually went like a 15-0 run, and then like a 7-0 run, and then an 8-0 run. That was all in January. And then starting February, we went 17-0. So we've been hitting a lot on the books. If you like that sort of information, please make sure that you subscribe, you share this, you comment, and you like. I'm going to give you the second leg of this play. So now everybody knows that the Knicks are going to win this game. Wizards have no chance of winning this game unless some crazy fluke happens. But the Knicks have no chance of losing this game. There's a lot of things out there that are saying 90% chance that the Knicks will win this game. However, if we start looking deeper into this, if you start looking at the criteria and stuff like that, the Knicks, whenever they're on the road, they only cover the spread 7 out of the last 23 games. Now, in the last 10 games, you can see the Wizards actually cover the spreads 60% of the time. Now, again, nobody thinks they're going to win this game. They literally have a 6% chance to win this game as far as the Wizards go. But we don't care about that. We only need them to cover the spread. You can see that's a 60% chance that they've covered the spread in the last 10 games. One thing I don't like about this is that the line shifted from a plus 11.5 to a plus 13.5. So the books are adjusting for the money coming in on the Knicks, and they're actually giving more points for the Wizards at a plus 13.5 in order to attract more people. And it has attracted a lot of people because this is one of the stronger plays on the board today. So now what sucks even more over here too is that you can see the Knicks are healthy over here. So is Washington. They are missing Trae Young, but they actually he got traded over there, so he's not playing yet. And so you can see over here, the Knicks are healthy, so that's not going to affect the scoring. However, something that nobody is really talking about is, like I said, is the ATS trends for the Knicks on the road is only a 7 out of the last 23 games that they have covered the spread. On top of that, they actually have a game tomorrow. So they've been traveling. They traveled today, and then they're going to travel to get to the other game tomorrow. So what this means is that as soon as they know that they're going to be winning, they're not going for a blowout. They're actually going just to win the game. And they're going to be resting their players because, like I said, they traveled. They're going to travel for tomorrow to play tomorrow. And they're going to be conserving their players. So this is actually what I'm going with. I'm going for the Wizards not to get blown out. 23.5. That means that they have to lose the game by 24 points. And like I said, I highly doubt they're going to get blown out because of the ATS trends, knowing that the Knicks on the road don't cover the spread. And on top of that, they know they're going to play tomorrow, so they're going to conserve their players. All they want to do is win this game. They don't care about covering. Then I'm taking the Bulls and the Bucks on the under 237.5. That's going with the ATS trends, matching the stuff that we've been hitting with, and Giannis being out. Again, guys, that Warriors play literally is the first time I'm taking the Warriors this year. So just be careful with that one. I'm just hoping that they don't get blown out. And again, that's a 70% confidence level on that play because I have so many points. But again, it's a risk. Just that's up to you if you want to take it or not. Let's have a great day. Thank you so much. Please make sure you subscribe. Check out the VIP picks. Thank you. Let's have a great day.